Welcome to Satsang and to this beautiful, not quite yet stormy, but on the verge of being stormy evening. This is that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful weather. It's the beginning of the monsoon. We start, as always, with one of the questions that's come in advance from our online family. And then we'll open any of you might have. And we have 2 microphones here, so whichever is closer to you, just feel free to come to the microphone and tell us your name and ask your question. What is the responsibility of a person who has embarked on a spiritual path? What is their responsibility toward parents and other family members, young and old? Is it the spiritual person's job to force spirituality on other family members, or cut off from them, or look down upon family, friends, and other humans who are still immersed in the material world? Please also throw light on what should be the family's approach toward the spiritual person. Please keep the question anonymous. Okay. So, we all have a dharma in family, in relationship. As children of our parents, we have a special dharma. As parents of our children, we have a special dharma. As brothers or sisters, there's a dharma there, meaning a right path, a right way, righteousness, duty. These are all different aspects of dharma. But the core piece of dharma that we have to our family is to love them, to support them, to be there for them. We do not have a dharma to make them like us or to be like them. We do not have a dharma to come to one consensus. In fact, one of my favorite teachings by Parmarth Sri Ramakrishnaji is he's speaking about all of the different forms of the divine and how the divine comes in infinite forms based on our characteristics and how we're able to connect with the divine in so many forms. And the example that he uses, he says, take a mother. She really wants her children to eat, I think he used the example of fish, but I always say spinach instead because, we're strict vegetarians. But she always wants her children to eat spinach. But say she's got 5 kids. Well, one kid likes the spinach fried, another likes it raw, another likes it, battered in basin and deep fried so it becomes like a spinach pakora. Somebody else likes it a different way. It's okay, she doesn't care. She's got only one agenda, that all of her kids should eat spinach. Now, even though that's a teaching about the different forms of the divine, what I love about it is it reminds us also of the dharma of the mother, which is she's not going to force all her kids to be the same. She's not going to say, I like my spinach made into sag, therefore you must eat it like sag, or you must like it like that. This epitome of this divine mother who cares for her children is no problem. 5 kids, they like spinach in 5 different ways. Okay, we'll make spinach in 5 different ways. Meaning, above all, there's love. Above all, there's caring. And so if you find that you're the spiritual person, we'll take it from both sides. So first, if you are the spiritual person, what is your responsibility to your family? Not to shove it down their throats, not to make them feel less than or lower than you. You know, there's a great spiritual arrogance that arises as we embark on a spiritual path. It's like they always say, you know, those who used to smoke but have quit are the loudest people against other people who are smoking. And those who have recently become spiritual people tend to be the loudest and the most judgmental and negative about those who are not yet on a spiritual path. So you don't want to go there. Being judgmental, being negative, forcing yourself on others, this is not what spirituality is. So no, don't force it. Don't shove it down their throats. Don't make them feel less than or judged. Your only responsibility is to act spiritually. Live your spiritual truth. And inevitably what that's going to mean is that you shine a light. That you don't have to advertise it. You don't have to grab people and bring them to it. The North Pole doesn't have to reach out its arms and grab every piece of iron in the world, every compass in the world. It automatically goes to it. Automatically. If you're in the northern hemisphere, that pin in the compass is going to go toward the North Pole because the magnetic pull is so strong. It doesn't have to shout. Doesn't have to say, "This way, you idiot." It just has to be the North Pole. It just has to be strong and magnetic. And automatically, it's going to pull. It's going to pull all of those compass pins toward it. And that's what spirituality is about. Live it, be it, shine your light. You don't have to advertise it. And the responsibility of the other members of the family is really very similar, which is love this person. Don't try to convince them not to be spiritual. Those of us who have walked that path less traveled in our own families or cultures or communities, we know what it feels like when everybody around you says, "Arey, what are you doing? Kar kya rahe? Time waste kar rahe? Get yourself set." I remember when I first decided or first allowed myself to realize that the universe had made a decision for me, that I was going to be in India. And all of my friends and all of my advisors in my PhD program, everybody said, "Don't be crazy. Don't do this now. Finish your degree first. Get yourself settled. Make a name for yourself. Establish yourself. Then 2, 3, 4 years down the line, you want to go off and do some 1 year, 2 year, spiritual Peace Corps thing. No problem." I remember that was how they all thought about it was going to be this, 1 or 2 year kind of spiritual Peace Corps sort of situation. But I knew that I was meant to be here now. I knew that the spiritual calling was now, that it wasn't saying to me, "Recognize that I'm here, but don't follow it." I knew that I was meant to follow it right now. So if you are the family of someone who's embarking on a spiritual path, support them. Recognize that every religion, every spiritual tradition, every scripture, every guru, saint, sage, mystic of every religion and of every age throughout history has told us that spirituality and a spiritual connection is the most important thing in our lives and is the core reason why we are born. So you don't want to walk that path? Okay. That's your prerogative. The universe is infinitely patient. I always say, no problem. Not this life, but next life. It's okay. Not next life, but the life after that. No problem. But don't discourage someone else from it. Don't be an agent of Maya. Right? Maya is that energy of illusion that tries to keep convincing us that we are just our bodies, that we are our stories. Don't be Maya's agent and try to convince that person that they're making a wrong decision and they really should be making money or, getting more power or climbing some kind of a career ladder or social ladder. Honor them. Honor them, support them. Again, you don't have to follow them. That's okay. But at least honor that they are following a timeless tradition of people who have the courage to really follow that pull of spirit. Great question. Yeah, other questions? Yes. You don't have to go to one of those microphones. You can come here. Come here. Ham mic la ke mujhe dena bhaiya. Yeah, there we go.
My name is Sanvi, and the question is how do you focus on God?
That is so beautiful. Tell us your name again.
Sanvi.
Sanvi.
Yes.
How do we focus on God? Okay. So when you try to focus on God, have you ever tried to focus on God?
Yes.
And what happens? Why do you find it difficult? What else comes in your mind when you're trying to focus on God? Like right now, if you close your eyes, try to focus on God. Okay, so what comes in your mind instead? What were you thinking about when I told you to focus on God?
I mostly go to some classes like those.
In your mind, what's happening in your mind? Not your body. Let's try again. Close your eyes. Okay? Try to focus on God. And if you can't, just notice what comes in your mind instead. What were you thinking about? Were you thinking about your friends?
No.
Your family?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So your family came in your mind. Okay. And anything else?
No, nothing else.
No homework or anything like that you've got?
No.
Great. Okay. So raise your hand here, just so that Sanvi knows the community she's in. Raise your hand if when you sit down to meditate or to pray or to do puja, something other than God comes in your mind. Raise your hand. You see how that happens to everybody? So you're not alone. That happens to everybody. Now, for you, your family came in your mind.
Yes.
Right? So for each of us, I'm not going to go around, but if I did, I think what you would hear people say is sometimes their family comes. Sometimes maybe their office people come, maybe their boss, maybe their other office colleagues, or maybe their employees.
Okay.
Maybe their bank account or what's happening in the stock market, or maybe all the things they have to do. Like you clearly don't have enough homework that it's coming into your mind, but when people have a lot of things to do, they close their eyes and the first thing that comes is all the things we have to do. And that's normal, it's okay. But you're right, we have to focus on God. So what do we do when there's all these other things? So what we do is, first of all, we have one special place that we sit in that helps us focus on God. So for example, if you go to the kitchen, right? You go to the kitchen, you open up the refrigerator. What do you start thinking about? What do you think about when you open up the fridge?
Food.
Food, right, of course. Naturally. You open up the fridge, you think about food?
Yes.
Right. If you go to a beautiful area where you've kept something, some image of the divine that's very precious to you, something that reminds you of God, maybe it's a picture, maybe it's Bhagwan Krishna, maybe it's Bhagwan Ram, maybe it's Shankar Bhagwan, maybe it's Ma Durga, maybe it's some other image, but some image of the divine. Maybe you've got some beautiful mantra chanting or some kirtan that's chanting, right?
Yes.
Then automatically you go there. Like when you look at food, you think about food. You open your closet, you think about clothes. But if you can look at some beautiful image of the divine and hear some beautiful mantras or songs,
Okay.
right? Automatically your mind is going to start to go there. Don't keep any food there. Don't keep your phone there. Don't keep your homework there. Don't keep anything else there, only God.
Okay.
Okay, so when you go there, you only think about God. Then, that's the first part. Then you close your eyes. And have you ever chanted a mantra?
Yes.
So which mantra do you know how to chant? Do you know any of them by heart?
Yes, the Gayatri mantra.
Wonderful. So you wanna show us how you chant that?
Okay. Om Bhut Bhuvassuvaha Tat Sarviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat.
Beautiful. When you chant that mantra, what do you think about? What do you think about when you chant that? Does it make you kind of start to think about God a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, right? It works. So then you sit down in that sacred place where you have a beautiful image of the divine or even a few different images of the divine. You have some beautiful divine music, prayers, mantras, or kirtan that's going on.
Okay.
And then you close your eyes and you start to chant the Gayatri mantra in your mind. And when any other thought comes, you just keep remembering to chant the Gayatri mantra.
Okay.
Okay? And if you do all of those things, I think you're going to find that it becomes much more easy to focus on God.
Okay.
What do you think? You think that's going to work for you?
Yes.
Great. And I'm going to give you one other secret. Okay?
Okay.
Is there a specific aspect of the divine who you love very much?
Yes.
Which one?
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna. Okay. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells us, I live in the hearts of all. Right? He tells us, I am in all. That is why he shows Arjun his
True form.
exactly. So that we learn through Arjun, oh, you're not just here in this form of my charioteer, you are the supreme reality. You are in everything. Now, what that means is, as you move through your life, you look at your mom, you look at your dad. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
I have 3 cousins.
Okay. So you look at your mom, you look at your dad, you look at your cousins, you look at your friends, you look at your teachers, you look at the flowers, and what you start to see is Krishna in all of them. And that's your homework. Okay? I'm giving you homework. Is whoever you look at, I want you to see Krishna in them.
Okay.
Can you do that? In your temple that you make, I want you to put a picture of Krishna. And so you will look at that in your morning and in your evening when you are doing your prayers. And then all during the day. Oh, here's Krishna in the body of a fat man. Here's Krishna in the body of an old lady. Here's Krishna in the body of a cow or a dog or a flower or a tree or a young child.
Okay.
And you see all of the different forms of Krishna. Okay?
Okay.
Will you do that homework for me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you next? Okay, but we need a mic. You have a question? You have a question? Okay. Yes.
My name is Lakshita.
Okay. Do you have some question?
My father's name is Mr. Gaurav Sharma.
Okay. That's wonderful.
Wonderful.
And what's mommy's name?
मैं मेडिटेशन नहीं कर पाती हूँ.
Okay. बहुत अच्छा. कुछ पूछना? कुछ पूछना? कोई भी प्रश्न नहीं है ना? बहुत अच्छा. कोई बात नहीं, अच्छा है, कोई
मुझे
प्रश्न
भी
नहीं.
आता है.
कुछ पूछना?
मुझे प्रेयर आती है.
क्या याद आ रही?
जनगणे मने अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा हिंदल हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल चलाए तरंगा जाने जागे सब शीश आने जागे दाए जय जय दाता जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की
जय.
कुछ और पूछना? चलो आप बैठो यहाँ. Okay, so she's just gonna sit with me, I think. Other questions? Yes, but you'll have to go there because we have the mic from that one. Yes. Just, you can keep it. कोई बात नहीं. हाँ, गाते रहो, कोई बात नहीं.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Ajat Parik and I am from Jaipur. Ma'am, my question is whenever I tries to connect with God or whenever I start praying too much, what I feel is that my fire inside me towards my goal become less, or like it got calm. So ma'am, like I'm unable to follow my dreams and my goals then. So ma'am, that's my question.
Sure, sure. So this is really common. As we embark spiritually, naturally thoda sa vairagya to aega about other things in the world. The more deep, just one second, okay? Okay? Then we'll listen. So the deeper that we go in our spiritual practice, the deeper that we go connecting to the divine, the rest starts to feel much less important. It's very hard to generate the energy to go out and make a lot of money when you've had very deep spiritual experiences. And that's beautiful, it's wonderful. Here's what you should do. Because it's not that you shouldn't have goals, you should. But your goals are going to change. So tonight in the Aarti, Pujya Swamiji was saying this question of life, this is something we speak about a lot, should not be what for me, but it should be what through me. So frequently the question that we ask in our life is, what for me, mere liye kya? And whatever we do it in order to get ahead. I should make money. I should become number one. I should get the corner office. I should climb the ladder. I should be the most successful. I should be number one. Spirituality takes away a lot of that drive. You're absolutely right. Because we realize, kiske liye? Why do I need so much money I don't? Why do I want to compete against other people? We're not even separate. If I'm having deep experiences of oneness, so who am I going to beat? Who am I going to, push out of the way and become number one? There's no other. There's no enemy. There's no competitor. And so change your goal. Let the question of your goal be, what through me? Oh God, use me. Allow yourself to have that nimitta matram bhav. That bhav of being an instrument, a tool in God's hands. Let your prayers every day be, oh God. That's great that you figured that out. We have an engineer in the making. Let your prayer to God be, use me. You're going to be. Right? Bhagwan Krishna teaches us, Mam nu smard yudhyacha. Remember me, fight the war. Remember me. It also means remember you. Because you are not different from God. You're not separate from God. So remember me. Krishna is saying this, remember me. And then fight the war. Means anchor yourself, ground yourself, connect yourself in me, in your spiritual practice, and fight the war. We chant here each morning in the morning prayers a beautiful line that says, Mukho me ho Ram nam, Ram seva atme. Right? So let that be what happens. So your spiritual practice is getting you deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you just become. Like the apple tree doesn't have to have a goal to produce more apples than any apple tree ever has. It doesn't have to have the goal to be the most productive apple tree in the whole orchard. All it does is surrender itself to its dharma, to be an apple tree. Produces apples, as many as it is meant to produce. There's no competition. There's no sense of I-ness or me-ness or my-ness. There's no me versus others. It's just, here I am. My dharma. As an apple tree is to give apples, as a river is to flow and give water, and as each of us is to be a channel for the divine. So your goals may shift. If you find that you are not able to be energetic in your goals, it means your goals are probably not in alignment with your spiritual experience. Make new goals. You just turn it back on. There's a switch on the side.
Hello?
Yeah.
But ma'am, that's very much difficult when you especially born in a middle class family and you have to pursue some dreams like to make yourself stable and make your parents proud. Like ma'am, these are also things which I have to perform. Like I think that it is also my duty, but on the other hand, if I think on the spirituality part, ma'am, like that's like, I think that it is taking my energy and making me less confident on the other side or less dedicated on the other side.
So spirituality never says you should be an embarrassment to your family. It never says you should be a beggar on the street. No, it never says that. Absolutely. Do your duty. I mean, Bhagwan Krishna over and over again, khadi ho jao. He doesn't say koi baat nahi, aap bete raho, baki log caretake karenge. Acha ladai nahi karna, koi baat nahi, bete raho. Doesn't say that. Khadi ho jao. Do it. Do your duty. If you have a duty to take care of the family, by all means do it. But the truth is, there's a lot of ways in the world to make a living.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a lot of ways. You're young.
Yes.
The number of ways there are to make a living that didn't even exist when I was your age. And I'm not even that old. Right? We're looking at one generation, a generation and a half. The creative ways that you can be anchored and grounded spiritually and also make a living are infinite. And in terms of making your parents proud, don't you think that they want you to live a life that is a channel for the divine on earth, that is sharing and spreading beauty and greatness and divinity and help? Their highest goal surely is not just ki thoda sa paisa kamayenge. Make them really proud.
Ma'am,
Yes, sweetheart.
it's not okay.
Okay, we'll turn it on in 1 second. As soon as we're done, when his goes off, then yours will go on. Okay? Okay. So, make them really proud.
Thank you, ma'am.
They will be, if you are serving the world, doing something that heals people, that benefits people, that serves people, they will be incredibly proud. And again, you don't have to not make a living, but figure out, how are you going to make a living? How can you do it in a way that is in alignment with your spiritual values? There's lots and lots of ways.
Thank you, ma'am.
Beautiful. हाँ, अब आप बोलो. मैं चला दूँ. Yes.
My school name is Xavier School. My mom's anniversary.
कोई मंत्र आते हैं क्या?
जटाटवी गलज्वल प्रवाहिवा तस्थरे कलेवलम्बे वीता भुजं तुंगमालिका डबडबंदे नाथवर डमरवय चकार चंडांडव तनोतुरे शिवा शिव जटाकटाष्ट ब्रह्मिणीं फनेजरी लोलवीची वल्लभे राजमा मोदनी दगदगनी लाल पट्ट पाविके त्रिशो चंद्रशेखरे प्रतीक प्रतीक्षण मम धराधरे नंदिनी लाज बंधु बंधुर स्प्रतिकन संति प्रणवान मांच पाक्षादोनि रुद्र दुत्र राति सिद्धि कमाए लोल में तो बस्तुनि तटा भजन पिंगला अश्रमाम लिंगमा मम्बकम लेके पत्तारे प्रतीक शब्द उत्तरी अनुहले लोबिनो भारत भूत भारतरे.
Wonderful. बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा. कुछ और सुनाओगे?
मुझे सारे मंत्र याद है.
ओके. चलो अगली बार के लिए कुछ और सुनाओगे, है ना? सीखे सुनाओगे. ओके. किसी और का प्रश्न ले लें हम लोग?
श्री कृष्ण.
Any other questions? Yes, please. Come. इसका मैं बस.
सादर प्रणाम. मैं इंग्लिश में बात नहीं कर सकती हूँ.
कोई बात नहीं.
कोशिश करूँगी आपको.
No problem, no problem. मैं ट्रांसलेट करूँगी सबके लिए.
मैं भगवान में बहुत विश्वास रखती हूँ और आज मैं जो कुछ भी हूँ उनकी कृपा से हूँ. सिर्फ एक कमी को अपने अंदर से नहीं निकाल पा रही हूँ कि जो लोग मुझे तकलीफ़ देते हैं, हर्ट करते हैं, मैं उनको माफ़ नहीं कर पाती हूँ जो मुझे बहुत तकलीफ़ देता है. इसका मुझे.
So she asked, I believe deeply in God. I'm very devoted to God and connected to God. But one problem I have is that I cannot forgive people who really hurt me and harm me. And that's the one thing that keeps me separate from God. पहले बात है, बहुत अच्छा कि आपने इसको अनुभव किया. That awareness is the first step. The key to forgiveness is उनके बारे में मत सोचिएगा. Don't think about the person who's hurt you or what they did. Because then that will keep coming. Do you want to come back? Okay, कोई बात नहीं, आजा, no problem. Then that will keep coming in your mind. You will not be able to get that out of your mind. And then your entire mind, even today you're sitting on the banks of Ganga, doing beautiful heaven, doing beautiful arati, sitting in satsang. But what is in your mind? That person did this to me. They lied to me, they cheated me, they harmed me. Though you have carried that person, and you have carried that act into paradise. Physically, you've left them. Physically, that moment is on. But आपने फिर उनको अपने साथ लेकर आए. We forgive because we deserve to be free. That's the key. If we have to convince ourselves that what they did is forgivable or it's okay, तो फिर कभी नहीं होगा. It'll never happen. Because then we are just stuck constantly thinking about them. Instead, recognize and realize your birthright is freedom. The core of who you are is moksha, freedom. But as long as you fill your mind with these stories, you are keeping yourself stuck. As you're here on the banks of Ganga, aap Ganga ko de do. Just give them to Ganga. माँ गंगा से यही प्रार्थना करो कि हे माँ, मरने के बाद मोक्ष नहीं चाहिए, अभी मोक्ष चाहिए. I want that freedom now. I don't want to wait till I've died. later somebody's going to come, bring my ashes, put them in Ganga, then I'll be free. No, I want to be free now. But the only way for me to be free now is if you take this anger and take these grudges, take these stories, just give them to Ganga. वो मोक्ष देने वाली है, केवल मरने के बाद नहीं. But you have to offer them and give them. And just remember, you're not doing it because of that person. You're doing it because it's in you. Imagine that a doctor tells you that you have a very large cancerous tumor inside your brain. And that the tumor can be removed very easily. No pain operation, no risk operation, no recovery time even. You don't even have to be in the ICU. Risk-free operation, no recovery time operation. But during the operation, you might feel a little bit of discomfort. But if you don't remove it, you're going to die. Could you imagine saying to the doctor, कि नहीं मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी? Could you imagine saying to the doctor, no, that's okay, I'd like to keep the tumor? No. Of course not, right? Even if the doctor said it's a very painful operation, feared we would do it.
Papa.
We would do it because we know if I don't do it, I die. That which we're holding inside of us, those grudges, they're literally like tumors inside. But to get rid of them, it doesn't require a long, painful operation. There's no recovery period. There's no risk of anesthesia or anything. But we have to be prepared to undergo the operation. Nobody's going to cut into our head against our wishes. We have to be prepared to metaphorically say, okay, isko aap nikal do. Give me the operation. Take it out. I want it gone. And that's what Ganga does. Yes, sweetness?
अभी बोलूं?
Ek second, है ना? Bas ek second. That's what Ganga does. She's the operator, the doctor.
इसको मत छुओ, यहाँ पे लगी है.
Oh, कुछ लग गए, चोट लग गए. Oh, I'm so sorry. चलो मैं यहाँ छूँ. यहाँ हाथ लगा. कोई बात नहीं. यहाँ हाथ लगा दो फिर. यहाँ कोई चोट तो नहीं है ना? Okay. So she's the divine doctor, the divine operator who removes that, the divine surgeon who removes that from us. But you have to be willing to give it to her. Okay? And I say this from personal experience. This is not just कि आकाश से मैं कहीं से लेके आए. This is from my personal experience. And from the experience of so many I've seen. We hold on to grudges and pain and stories, and they suffocate and kill us. And if you can give it to Ganga, she takes it, and you become free. Beautiful. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening. A beautiful morning to our family joining us online. And I look so forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And so much love to you all. बोलना कुछ? ओके. चलो जाने से पहले कुछ बोलो.
My class name is UKGB class.
Kuch word?
Blue day.
चले हम लोग भोजन करें, सबको भोजन करने दें, ठीक है?